right, guys, we got to roll through pretty quick here.
All right, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good. All right, go ahead.
First up, before we get to some rookies, what do you think of what you've seen of Rice so far?
Yeah, he's looked good. He's come back strong. He's been working hard to get to this point. It reminds me of last year where he was going into this part of the year where the second year he just looks like when these guys start learning, like even with Xavier right now, you can tell he knows where he's going, and so those guys are looking sharp.
Hey Matt, last year you guys obviously talked all off season about throwing the ball deep and
Yeah.
then really materialize.
Yeah.
What can be the difference this year to make that a reality?
Well, we talk about talk is cheap, right? You can't talk about it. You got, you gotta be able to do it. So I think it's a mentality of every day in practice, trying to make sure you stress not only the importance of talking about it, but then doing it, in practice. And there was times where we were, but I think it's our job as coaches to emphasize it more, and then let these guys go out there. And then their mindset too is, cutting it loose every now and then. And not everyone is going to be perfect and incomplete, but it's equity.
Matt, do you feel like Pat trusted his protection enough to allow you guys to do what you wanted to do in that part of the game last year?
Going back and looking at the tape, what I thought was interesting was there was times where maybe we think that didn't happen, where he wasn't trusting it, but then there's times where he was, and there was a breakthrough. I think it was more the consistency, Adam, of matching the two together. So there's times where there's great time to throw the ball and the route wasn't open, and some of that is because of the scheme that we put in, or vice versa, a guy's open and we miss it. So as long as we can show those guys the why part of understanding that, then we go ahead and take that into where we're at now. And so far, up to this point, it's been beautiful with the attack mindset.
Yeah, Pat mentioned last week that you guys have encouraged him to try to get the ball down the field during OTAs. What's that process like? Just telling him, hey, throw the ball down the field, or is it a little more involved than that?
It's both. I mean, we have to be able to put the plays in that give you that. But then at the same point in time, then you got to pull the trigger. You got to take that shot downfield. Now, that's execution amongst the O-line, protecting Pat, taking his proper drop, so getting the depth and working his feet. The wide receivers running the proper depth on their routes, and then letting it go. And then we got to try to put in the right plays and then obviously call it at the right time. But it's a mindset, and you got to stick to it. And it's just it's constantly every single day, not just every week, every single day, and then it just becomes reality.
Brett
said back at the combine with this that maybe Patrick has seen too much at times, and maybe defenses are not doing the same things to him that they used to. Is there a little bit with him in this process of maybe unlearning things that he's learned?
Probably a little bit, and I say in this point that, number one, he has so many more plays that he's played, having 8 years in the league. There's a lot that goes into it, and so sometimes it's good. It's kind of a reset to get back to some of the basics, and he's seen a lot, and a lot of it has worked. So now it's like, okay, where's that balance of us as coaches of seeing where we've been the last few years, where he's at individually, new players coming in and out, new timing, and so like kind of putting all that together. So the good part for Pat is he wants that. He came in here after the Super Bowl, the first day we had him, and he was so locked in, and it wasn't this, angry, pissed off at the world, like gotta get back at people, revenge thing. That's not what it was. It's just it's a calm, professional want to get better and use it in the right way, and it's a strong positivity in that room right now. It's been great.
We're gonna go last three: Sam, P, Adam.
When you have that mentality from the quarterback, I just wonder what that does for you as a coach.
It means a lot, and Pat's always had that. We've always had it. For whatever reason, it really hasn't come to fruition for many different reasons, and we talked about with some of the defenses, some of the things that you see schematically. And so what we need to do is make sure that we do our job to help him and help the players schematically as much as we can. And I think we take a lot of pride in that. It's a challenge as a coach. You want to help your guys and put them in great position. But when you have a guy that feels that way, we talk about it, but then you get out there to practice here in OTAs and you see it. It's like, okay, here we go. And now we got to make sure as coaches he hears it every day.
Adam mentioned the protection. I'm just curious, Josh Simmons, your thoughts on his college film and then initial impressions working with him?
College film, phenomenal. Really liked it. You can see athleticism, recovery if he gets beat. And you talk to his coaches that he has, and you just listen to the want that the kid has. Obviously, he had the injury, so it dropped him a little bit, but I've really been impressed with his professionalism since he's been in this building. He's really locked in. He's doing everything he can do up to what he's allowed to do with the injury, and so that's all he can do. And he's got a great group of guys on that O-line, and Coach Heck and Coach Matei teaching him. So he's in a great spot, and I think we just got to keep him going arrow up. But man, his film is really good.
Last one, Adam.
Matt,
Yeah.
how have the things that you've worked on with Pat this time of year in the offseason changed since he was a rookie and just kind of getting into the NFL? How have those kinds of things changed since
Yeah, there's been
8 years or whatever
sure.
he's been in the league?
There's been a lot. Obviously, the first year when we had him, it was just getting out of the huddle. You've heard about that, the calling the plays. All that stuff's easy now. The defenses that we see, I think right now more than anything, it's us being able to work routes with these wide receivers, these tight ends, these new running backs. But for Pat, we always want to try to pick something that we can get better at and let him really lock in on, whether it's schematically or it's something that we did last year. And I think, for us, everyone has numbers and everything, of downfield throws and accuracy, inaccuracy. They do it, they don't do it. That's numbers. But the video shows what's going on. And so we spent an inordinate amount of time breaking that down this offseason and watching it together. And, for what it's worth, at the end of the Eagles game, I know the score wasn't what we wanted, but there was a pretty good throw at the end of the year there to Xavier. And I think that we're excited to get back to some of that.
Go back to his rookie year. Like, what kind
Yeah.
of stuff were you working? I mean, was it literally, hey,
Lit-
here's how you call a play in the huddle?
Literally, we had him talking into his cell phone. I mean, he was yelling his first play into the huddle. The defense could hear the play. We had to tell him to chill out. And then like his ankles were touching on a snap under center. He was all gun, so his ankles were touching. Your ankles don't touch when you take a snap under center. So we had to work on that. Little things individually, but now we're much broader, much bigger, and he's at a different level, and he's in a really good place.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, see ya. Thank you.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Hey,